Welcome everyone to our January 17th Board of Education meeting. This time I asked Ms. Baker to lead us in our invocation and our allegiance to our flag.
Please bow your head. Dear Lord, thank you for the dynamic leaders, teachers, and students that you have placed in our school system. Lord, grant your mercies around them. Continue to be with them and direct their path in the right direction. Father, I pray that you allow our legislators to see the importance of public education as they go through the General Assembly over the next few months. Father, keep us focused on the right things to help educate all of our children in our school system. Father, give us guidance, give us wisdom. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Matthews, we have any special recognition?
We do, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Tonight we are recognizing Newton High School student Kelsey Upton. Kelsey, if you could, please come forward at this time. At the request of 17 magazine, Kelsey Upton presented at the U.S. Department of Education's second annual Federal Partners in Bullying Prevention Summit in Washington during a session on using media campaigns to inspire action around bullying. ABC Family and 17 magazine have teamed up for a joint campaign, Deleting Digital Drama. And Kelsey represented 17 as she is a reader of the magazine. She was joined by Ann Shokett, editor-in-chief of 17, Michael Riley, president, ABC Family, Katie Leclerc, an actress on the show, Switched at Birth, Tyler Blackburn, an actor on Pretty Little Liars, and Ross Ellis, founder of Stomp Out Bullying. Kelsey utilized her own personal experience on the subject of cyberbullying to deliver a powerful speech at the summit. Those in attendance included U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan. Although she was surrounded by many powerful politicians, celebrities, government officials, publishers, and more, Kelsey's speech earned rave reviews, and we are extremely proud of her. Congratulations, Kelsey, on a job well done. Congrats, too, to Kelsey's parents. Wave at us, parents. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You have a right to be very proud. The last recognition tonight is one we just learned of today, and we've learned that Liberty Middle School has been recognized by the Governor's Office of Student Achievement for being in the top % of schools in the state with the greatest improvement on the Criterion Reference Competency Test. Liberty Middle earned a bronze award for greatest gains, meaning the school has made AYP, is not in needs improvement status, and also had more than 20% of its students exceeding standards. That's very important. In addition, the school also placed in the 95th percentile of greatest gains schools in the state of Georgia. And congratulations to Principal Vic Lee and a very fine faculty.
Very good.
That concludes our recognition tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. Public participation, do we have any public participation? Anyone wish to address the board? Having none, I need a motion to approve the agenda, please. Yes, ma'am. If you would just come on up and state your name. And before you get started, ma'am, I would like to read the board policy. Ms. Alley, could we get a copy of the board policy, please, ma'am?
I'll have to go. I don't even have it.
Okay, we'll get it filled out by her later.
Thank you.
I have two other parents.
Okay, we just need that. We'll
Oh,
get
you
it
need
filled.
this?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't want me to fill it out first?
You can fill it out later. You can fill it out later if you like.
Okay, all right, thank you.
But we need that to go over that with you.
Okay.
Bring it up here, yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Baker will read you our policy.
Public participation is the time that the board has set aside to encourage you as members of our community to voice your opinion on any matter, either included on or excluded from the printed agenda. A maximum time of 5 minutes will be allotted to a single individual or a single topic based on the number of requests. Complaints against any employee of the school system will not be heard unless the complaint has been submitted in writing to the superintendent at least 7 days prior to the board meeting. If unresolved, any personal complaints about school personnel must be put in writing for the board to review in executive session. Personal attacks against any member of the board will not be tolerated.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you would state your name, please.
My name is Denise Gates, and I thank you, board members, for having me this late evening, and also our superintendent, and also our guests. I just want to talk about 5 minutes top about the policies within a high school. I've decided as a parent to form a movement for students, high school students, whereas we address some issue. I want to read this survey that went out that for some reason, some of our kids in the 4 or 5 subdivision, I think I spoke to about 20 other kids and parents, and I only received this one survey from another parent that I never received. But I'll start the reading. How welcoming is the school building and environment? Does the school communicate effectively with you? Are you encouraged to support student success? Are you supported in speaking up to make sure that all students are treated fairly and have access to learning opportunity? Are you allowed to share power as an equal partner in decision learning opportunities for your child's effectiveness? Does your school collaborate with the community? I don't know if you have seen this, the survey. We have not got, we didn't get any information in the subdivision. Ellington subdivision, we have 5 subdivisions there. It's over maybe about 1,000 kids and parents in that in those 5 subdivisions, because the outside is the added one. We don't get information about our kids' them success, about our kids' them any program for our high school students. And I want to make sure that I have access to the survey, because I'm going door to door to parents so they can fill out this survey, because these questions are true. How welcoming is the school building and environment? My kids attend Alcovy High School, and I've spoken to parents on Monday. I made it my duty to go out since I knew it was Dr. King's Day, and I knew that I have to do something so my kids them are successful and the kids in my community are successful. And I must say, I walk out my house and my doors are open. I leave my doors open. That's how safe my community are. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have a safe community. But my kids and the kids at Alcovy's are not being treated fairly, and the policies are not in place for their success. Let me give you one instance. I spoke to this parent today. She is coming to the meeting. She told me her son is a diabetic. She told me her son walks around with the syringe in his pocket because the policy at Alcovy is not being met. She calls the school to ask the staff if, did you call my son to administer this syringe? But he walks, that's unsafe. What if he stabs another student by accident? Because God knows he's not going to do it on purpose. What if he's walking next to somebody else's child and that syringe touches, thank you, that syringe touches another child? That's unsafe. That's an unsafe environment. So I don't understand about the policies when it comes to a safe environment. Another incident, we didn't get any information about the lockdown that happened within the school. I don't get a phone call if my son is tardy 5 times, and then they tell me in an email that I asked them, can you send me the documentation? that we've given him Saturday duties, working detail, cleanup. I didn't get a phone call, my minor child, I didn't get a phone call, I didn't get nothing left on my answer machine stating my son will receive out-of-school suspension. I did not receive a phone call. So I'm thinking, when I asked for the attendance when I had a conference, can I see my son's attendance so I can find out what's going on, making sure my son is going to school every day, because I send him to school every day. I'm seeing suspended one day. So I called and I emailed, actually. I emailed and I asked for documentation. I said, but what happened to the phone call? Why aren't parents being called anymore? Another thing is, I'm talking about the students' grade. The grade system have changed. I know this because now this year, high school students go from, there's no middle in between where they can average a 2 and in place an average for 2 semesters. So they go the entire year. What if my son, and I'm not saying he does have a 50, gets a 50 the first semester? I don't get a phone call from a teacher. I email a lot, I do. I like documentation, so I email a lot. But I was told that it's not effective for teachers to email every day. But my daughter, my elementary school daughter, have an agenda. I get information every day. I can't email the teacher every day. The policies are so different at Alcovy, that's my point. It's so totally different from any other high school. The policies are different. I want my students, my children, to succeed. I want the students at Alcovy to succeed. But when I walk through those doors, that's not what I'm walking into. I'm not walking into success. I'm fighting a battle. I have to win the war. The economy is too bad. I have to send college students out right now. The war is too much when it comes to education. I'm asking my board members to look, investigate. I'm telling you these things. I came to you last year, I did. I didn't know. I'm not gonna speak on an individual. I'm gonna speak on the system that is failing my students, the students that's walking into the building. I'm talking about the community that I'm at. When I see my sons playing with the basketball outside in front of my house, or we take my group, I take my friends, my son's friends to basketball game, a rec. So we keep them out of trouble. These kids that are trying to be successful, they're not in trouble with the law. I mean, it's baffling to say they're not in trouble with the law. My expectation is always high. It's never to say they're not getting in trouble by the law. But that's how I feel when I'm walking through the doors of Alcovy. When my kids are pulled out of their classroom and we have dogs in, but you're not telling the parents something. What's going on? A student try to commit suicide. But am I not supposed to know something? That the school is safe, we have dealt with the problem. Parents, we understand, you're concerned. I need information. I definitely need this. Because it says on the, at the bottom that it is for the state school superintendent. We need this survey. We need to find out why Alcovy don't have an open door policy. That's what we need to find out. Why I went to 2 different high schools, and Newton High School have an open door policy, but Alcovy don't have an open door policy. I need to find out what's the policy. I need to find out the grading policy. Why one teacher give so much assignment, another teacher don't give enough assignment. So when we accumulate these averages, the teacher that gives a high assignment, a lot of assignment, if my son passed 3 tests, it's added up to 1 point. So if he's scoring a 62, he might get a 63 with passing. A set policy. Every week, every teacher generates 3 assignments. I don't know what the assignments, maybe testing. There's no policy in place. If I'm standing here because I have the grade book, I can pull up the grade book and I can count 25 assignments and I can count 10 assignments for one teacher. There's not a policy in place. that is meeting the student's need. And I know I've taken up enough time, and I was hoping the parent did show up, but it was a bad weather. And I am going to let you know that I'm going to move parents to move the community. Because we want every child to come back to the community successful. We want them to go out to college and come back to the community and work within the community. As leaders, as you all are sitting up here, leaders. We want leaders.
Ms. Gates, have you taken this total set of concerns to first the principal and then to the county executive director of high schools? Have you done those two steps before tonight?
Mr. Superintendent.
That's him. I'm not that smart. I'm just a board member. But
I'm sorry.
Have you gone through that to see, because they would be folks that could focus on this
I understand that. That's
in
why
terms of line authority more quickly than we could.
That's why I'm standing up here, because when I tell you I've emailed, and I continue to email, but my next level is going to be next. I had to say in a meeting, okay, I need to come to the board meeting, because I remember last year you said I cannot retain an attorney, and I speak up here. So I have to retain an attorney after I leave this board meeting, because I have addressed these problems. As that question lies, do I feel welcome when I walk in the door? Do I have parents scared to talk to you? Yes. Do I have parents scared to come up to the school to address problem? Yes. That's why I'm standing here and telling you that I'm taking an initiative and I'm setting up a movement.
Well, let me ask you this. You mentioned that you had to get an attorney to go to the school to resolve some of your concerns.
Yes, sir.
Were they resolved?
They were resolved. Yes, they were resolved.
Okay, so
however, why I'm standing here is because I guess it's getting nasty now.
But I guess my question to you is that, did you and your attorney have a conversation with the administrative at Alcovy?
We did. We had a meeting, and I forgot, Dr. West. Dr. West was at the meeting, and we resolved those issues with my sons.
Okay.
This semester is a different semester.
Okay, so what I would suggest you doing is to follow those same steps with your recent concerns. And a lot of the issues that you're talking about can be found in your student handbook.
I did look at it.
And so that's what I would advise you to do, as well as put your concerns in writings, because you mentioned an array of things, and give them to the superintendent, and he will address them.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, and I
Thank you
appreciate
much
it.
for
Thank
coming.
you.
Any other people wish to address the board? If not,
Mr. Turner, can I make a comment? Because I'm thinking Kelsey and them might be leaving. I'm not sure. Can I just make a comment? I think my understanding is correct that Kelsey's part of the recognition tonight, it sort of, and Mr. Upton can correct me if I'm wrong, it has formed the genesis for a House bill, has it not? Or at least the proposal for a House bill on cyberbullying?
Correct.
That y'all are working on with
It's
Pam
House Bill,
Dickerson?
House
Is it
Bill 680.
with Pam Dickerson? Yeah.
State Representative Pam.
So that's a student making a real difference.
very good, yeah.
We're proud of you.
Can
Can I make a comment? One thing is I have to give a lot of recognition and sort of a pat on the back is to Mr. Metters that held my back during the difficult time in her life and all this happened. Also, the Newton County School System, Principal Lockhart.
Dr. Lockhart did, yeah.
Or Dr. Lockhart was just absolutely fantastic.
He was.
In dealing with Kelsey. There was a period where her academics were starting to decline just a little bit. That concerned me a whole lot because I've read about kids in the past committing suicide, losing their academic abilities, some of the stuff that really scared me a lot.
Yeah.
But as a community, as an education system, Mr. Metters and the GPC, Georgia Perimeter College, and the high school really came together, sort of closed ranks and supported her. For that, we are eternally grateful.
Very good.
thank you.
And there's a publication I think Ms. Vineyard has. Did you have the publication with Kelsey in it? Yeah, Remember, Kelsey, you brought that to me from Washington?
Yes.
It's with the school system now, their copy.
What grade are you in again, Kelsey?
I'm a senior.
She's
Oh,
gonna
you're a
graduate from
senior.
Newton High School.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Well, good
A
luck.
future politician, maybe.
Thanks.
But thank you. I need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Meadows, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same, motion carries. I need a motion to approve the minutes, please.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Meadows, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baker, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same, motion carries. Just for some clarity, for those of you who have not attended one of our Board of Education's meeting, we normally have 2 meetings. We had one last Tuesday, and that is our work session. That's where we discuss the items on the agenda in detail. This meeting is for us to vote on it. So we'll move very swiftly through the agenda, and if there's any further discussion on any of the items here, we'll do so at that time. But just to make you guys aware of the fact that it's going to move swiftly. It's not the fact that we haven't taken the time to talk about these issues. So I just want to let everybody know that. First of all, Dr. Matthews, the superintendent report, operations, finance report, and operations was Dr. Carpenter. Do you have anything?
No, sir, I do not.
He has nothing to add to operations. Can I get a motion to accept the recommendation as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Meadows. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baker. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. Item B, which is curricular and instructional programs, that will be Ms. Mather. Anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Okay. Having nothing else to add, can I get a motion to accept item B as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Coggins, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Meadows, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same, motion carries. Old business is policy and Dr. Proctor.
Yes, sir. There's nothing to add to what was presented last week regarding this policy.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the policy under item B,
So
A,
moved.
please? Motion by Mr. Meadows, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baker, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, motion carries. New business, I think items A, B, and C is Dr. Carpenter.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything to add to items A, B, and C.
Okay, having no additions to items A, B, and C, can I get a motion to approve said items, please? Motion by Ms. Coggins, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baker, all in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same, motion carries.
Clarification, Mr. Chairman. Item A, under new business, is requested board action relative to FY 2012 budget calendar. With the board's motion action, I do not believe you intended to specify which of the 2 calendars you were approving at this time, based on just my and your discussion earlier tonight. So is this something that you want to revisit?
This is the budget. This is the budget. This is not,
Excuse me, that is exactly correct. I withdraw, we have 2 calendars right, that's what I'm, carry on, Mr. Chairman.
You're allowed. We'll make a mistake for it.
okay, I think we did have,
Said calendar, I've got calendar on the brain.
There's so many of them.
I believe we did have a motion, we had a second, and we did vote, correct? Okay, item D, Ms. Samantha?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. There was a request at our last meeting to adjust the recommendation, just the language in the recommendation. So I'm going to tell you that we took out the word some students and sort of add some clarity to that. So the new recommendation reads, the superintendent recommends that the Newton County Theme School offer school-based sports, which are intramural, for interested students and allow students who are eligible to join with their zone middle schools to participate in athletics. Transportation to the zone middle schools must be provided by parents of the participating students.
Great.
So that would be the change.
Great. Having heard those changes, can we get a motion to, any questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve item under
moved.
D?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Meadows, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baker, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same, motion carries. Item E, Dr. Thomas.
She's not here, but Dr. Proctor. can take
Dr.
it.
Proctor?
There's nothing to add to what we presented, no, sir.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve item E, please?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Coggins, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Meadows, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same, motion carries. Item F, Dr. West?
No changes.
Okay, having no changes on the item F, do I have a motion to approve item F, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Meadows, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Baker, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same, motion carries. Item G, Dr. Shatter.
There's no changes to what was presented last week, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, having no changes to item G, can I get a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Meadows, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, motion carries. Item H relates to legislative positions that the board is going to support. Ms. Coggins, if you would be so kind as to read those items that we agreed to give to our legislators.
Our 2012 legislative priorities. Number 1, the Vision Project for Public Education. The Newton County School Board of Education supports the Vision Project as the vehicle to raise awareness, address issues, and enhance public education in the state of Georgia. Visionforpubliced.org. Number 2, local board authority. The Newton County School Board of Education supports the concept that curriculum determination is the domain of the state and local boards of education. Thus, Newton County Board of Education encourages the General Assembly to resist legislative attempts to mandate curriculum. Number 3, capital outlay. The Newton County Board of Education supports the continuance of state dollars for capital outlay projects for school construction at the $200 million level. Further, the Newton County Board of Education supports the funding of exceptional growth needs at the $150 million level. The Newton County Board of Education urges the State Department of Education, when establishing facility guidelines and regulations, which include formulas, to recognize pre-K as part of facility needs. Number 4, opting out of public schools using public funds. The Newton County Board of Education is opposed to vouchers, tuition tax credits, or scholarships whose purpose is to allocate public funds to private schools, home study, or charter schools. Number 5, program funding. The Newton County Board of Education urges the General Assembly to sufficiently fund the actual cost of textbooks, including text and instructional materials, online and other electronic forms.
I don't either.
The Newton County Board of Education supports legislative proposals which appropriate funds needed for quality basic education on weighted FTE student cost basis. The Newton County Board of Education believes that any program, project, or requirement mandated by state government should be funded by the state in such a manner that operation or implementation of the mandate does not impose financial or other burdens on local school systems. The Newton County Board of Education urges the General Assembly to increase the funding for maintenance, operation, and transportation. There now exists a drastic difference in the level of state funding for these areas and their actual cost, causing increases in local property taxes as the only source local boards have for making up the difference. Number 6, policy and impact. The Newton County Board of Education supports establishing a mandatory minimum 12-month waiting period prior to implementation of state education legislation. The Newton County Board of Education also supports requiring a clear and complete description of the potential impact of state education legislation on the fiscal budget, operations, and programs of local schools and school districts. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay.
Well done.
It's for one, Abigail, I don't remember having.
Okay.
Capital outlay.
The capital
Capital
outlay.
The 200 million, 150 million.
That was number 3 from
Number
last
3,
year.
Mhm, that was from last year.
That was from last year.
So do we
Right,
need
I
to
don't
correct it?
remember us discussing that one for
We
this
didn't,
year.
yeah, we did not
okay,
for this year.
Did I circle the wrong
Right.
one? Okay.
Because to my understanding, it was the additionals, the ones that we had along with 2, 5, and 7.
It's, yeah, 2,
2,
5,
5,
and
okay.
7.
Well,
Yes,
then-
2, 5, and 7.
Sorry about that.
Can you,
That's quite all
can
right.
you read back just the piece of the voucher one about charter commission?
That was, let's see, opting out of public schools using public funds. The Newton County Board of Education is opposed to vouchers, tuition tax credits, or scholarships whose purpose is to allocate public funds to private schools, home study, or charter schools. That was number
Five.
That's number
five from
five.
last year, and the
Five
only
and a
addition we added
Okay.
charter schools.
Exactly.
Dr.
Exactly.
Matthews, do we need to spell out charter commission? Because Newton College is a charter, but it's a local startup. I mean, do we have to spell out charter commission? Because we oppose charter commission, if I'm correct.
Read it one more time, please.
We are opposed to vouchers, tuition tax credits, or scholarships whose purpose is to allocate public funds to private schools, home study, or charter schools.
Furthermore, the board wants to state its continued opposition
To
to.
charter commission,
You could do that.
okay.
If that's your intent, you certainly could do that.
Great.
Do- Yes,
From my perspective.
uh-huh,
Wants to oppose.
yeah.
And the reason for that, I would presume, is because, as I understand it, the Georgia Supreme Court has ruled against the Charter Commission, but there's a move afoot in the General Assembly to create law that would bring it back to its former state. And thus-
Based on a redefinition possibly of
Yeah.
special schools.
Okay, having heard the positions that the board is taking on these, could I get a motion to approve them? So moved. Motion by Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Meadows. Is there any further discussion as it relates to these items? If not, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. Okay, at this time, Dr. Matthews, once you formulate the letter, each board member will sign.
We'll send it to the local legislative delegation.
Thank you, sir.
And anywhere else you'd like for us to send it.
Thank you, sir.
The newspaper.
They were writing real fast, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna do an official one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Abigail's going to give me the language.
Yeah, I've got
Right.
it. I'll email it to you. I've got
That's
it all
fine.
typed in.
Okay, item J, this is a time that, I'm sorry, item I. Need a motion, which is, it's our responsibility to decide if we want to approve the school board meetings dates
Yes.
as,
We
go ahead.
changed that one.
Yeah, there's a slight change.
In June.
Okay.
Is it June?
The changes are June to reflect your choice of June 5th and 12th as the meeting dates. And then if you look down to the bottom right-hand corner, the time has changed on this flyer to reflect 6 PM as
6
your
p.m.
executive session.
Okay. Any questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve, please, item I?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Coggins, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Meadows, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Item J, this is an item where we will vote in a new chair and vice chair. Prior to we taking a motion, I would just like to say that this has been a terrific year working with each one of you guys, and I think we have probably the best board in the state. We've worked well together, and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the support that the staff has given the board since I've been chairman here. And we'll continue to support you guys. And I just wanted to say thank you. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to, I turn over to Dr. Matthews.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman and ladies and gentlemen of the board, it does fall upon me as superintendent, given Robert Rules of Order, to call for a nomination of candidate or candidates for the position of chairman of the Board of Education of Newton County. I will explain further that, given Robert Rules, that it will only take a nomination without a second. So no second is needed for any candidate. So we'll hear, the chair and my person will hear nominations from this board at this time. So I am asking for nominations for the position of chairman of the Newton County Board of Education. Is there a nomination? Ms. Henderson Baker.
Yes, if he will accept, I would like to nominate Eddie Johnson for chairman.
Mr. Johnson?
I accept totally.
No second is needed. Is there another nomination to be had? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much. I'm just short on words, and it's a little bit unusual for me. But I
Do you
have
feel
to give
warm?
it to the...
Feel warm?
It'll take a little time to get a little harder. But I am pleased to know that you have the confidence in me to lead this awesome board and school system. We have some real challenges ahead of us. I just hope I can meet the expectations that you have placed and the accomplishment that we need to seek. Again, I'm thankful, and I will do everything I can to promote and improve the mission of Newnan County School System. Thank you.
You want to switch places?
It's already?
Oh, wow.
Switch names, too, that helps.
Change of power.
Here.
Here we go.
So now Eddie and I can have our battles closer.
Elect the vice chairman now.
Former chairman, when do I hit this?
You got to take that little book home and read it.
Okay, the floor is open for nomination of vice chair.
I have a nomination. I'd like to nominate Jeff Metters as vice chair.
Jeff Meadows, do you accept this awesome task?
I do.
Thank you. All in favor of the nomination, let them know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The ayes carry. The next item, let me get this off of here. I guess the next item is to request K. Item K, Dr. Carpenter.
Yes, sir, Chairman Johnson. At this time, we'll ask that the board approve all personnel items as outlined during executive session.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes carry. That concludes our official January monthly meeting. Are there any other comments by any of the other members and any other related subject?
I just want to make a comment, and I'm not pretending that I have knowledge that Michelle may not, but I know in the past, when we had done legislative positions on Charter Commission, there were certain members of the press who did not like the fact that we did that. I'm not sure if that was based on misunderstanding or not, but Charter Commission is not what Newton College and Career Academy falls under. So you know that, I'm sure. And I say that only to say Charter Commission really has a design to really take local tax dollars and use those towards schools that we as a local LEA don't govern and have no right to govern. And that is why we oppose that. And so I am of the opinion of one, and I think we have agreed to oppose it, but I find it hard to understand why any community member would feel otherwise. To be quite honest, to want to take tax dollars from this county and use on schools that aren't governed by the elected officials of the county. That didn't really need to be said, but it had come out, you know, in some type of editorial. It was the other paper, to be quite honest, and I just wasn't sure when I read that if they were clear on what that move underfoot is for. And in Gwinnett County District versus Cox is when that was ruled down by the Supreme Court. And so now the other angle is to redefine special schools, what we may hear in the General Assembly. And that could be bad. So.
Thank you. Any other comments? If none, first meeting adjourned.
That was loud.
That was loud.
I had to get my ears plugged on this side.
Enjoy working. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Look forward to it.